It's cold tonight. Fronts moving down from the north. Wind is like a fistful of razor blades. That all reminds me, one time I met Norm Macdonald. Met him in Dhaka. That's a city on the other side of the world in Bangladesh. Former East Pakistan, in fact. He was playing a comedy club at the Sheraton there. I was just passing by. Anyway, 2 a.m. one night, came down to the hotel restaurant. It was packed full of Bengalis, but way back in a corner, I saw what I thought was a familiar face. Now the man I saw, he looked familiar. He was a comedian that I knew. He was my favorite comedian. But he wasn't skinny Norm Macdonald. He wasn't handsome Saturday Night Live Norm Macdonald. No, he was overweight, sadly cancerous Norm Macdonald. Anyway, I saw him hunkered in a corner, just bent over a great big plate of rasagulas, just scarfing him down. The only white man there, maybe the only white man in town. But anyway, I had the audacity that day to go over to him, and I pushed my way through the crowd of Bangladeshis, and I went right up to him and I said, "Hey, you there?" And he said, "Yes." And by the way, I am not going to be doing a Norm Macdonald impression. I can't do it. I can't do it at all. I would sully his name. Anyway, I went up to him and I said, "Hey, you." And he said, "Yes, it's me." And I said, "You." And he said, "Yes, what do you want?" And I said, "Aren't you Norm Macdonald?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And I said to him, you ever hear about that old Bobby Duvall?" And he goes, "Robert Duvall?" And I say, Robert Duvall, Bobby Duvall. And he says, "Robert Duvall?" And I say, "Yeah." And he says, "Yes, I've heard of Robert Duvall. I've interviewed Robert Duvall. In fact, I know Robert Duvall quite well." And so I said to him, "Do you know what Robert Duvall says about your countrymen?" And Norm Macdonald kind of looks down furtively and says, "No, sir. No, sir, I don't." This is Norm Macdonald talking to me. "What does Robert Duvall say about Canadians?" And I kind of grin, and I looked at Norm Macdonald right in the eye, and I say, "Bobby Duvall, that's Robert Duvall. He says a Canadian is the lowest form of white man there is." And then Norm Macdonald kicked the shit out of me. He ran me right out of Dhaka, right out of Bangladesh. And then I went on over to Assam, India.